Thanks to Car Keys Express for sponsoring this video. AirPod Max. I have a huge problem with these. Everything is rolling out with USB-C nowadays, but these don't seem to be getting any love. That's why in this video, we've collabed with Ken, exploring the simulation to make these USB-C. We're not waiting for Apple anymore.
I'll do it myself.
I've never actually opened these up before, so this will be the first time. We're gonna start off by removing the actual cup, so we'll use a stem ejector pin, push that in, and now we can just pop that off. We have the right cup separated, and this obviously has the charging port, so this is the cup we're gonna be working with. What's really interesting with Apple devices is there's this little ring around the charging port, and if you remove that ring, well, it actually gives you the perfect amount of space for a USB-C port. Not sure if that's something Apple did intentionally, but Ken seems to be having a field day with the fact that they did that. Now we have to unscrew the actual cup, and well, you'd think you just unscrew, but no, that's not the case. So this screw, you unscrew properly, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Nice, that's all good to go. And this screw, you actually unscrew the right way. Like actually right way, clockwise. Nice. And the same goes for this screw. You unscrew it clockwise. And then this screw counterclockwise. So the thing about this mod is you can't really find these charging port replacements online, so you can actually use Ken's replacement part as a replacement part, and you'll also get the upgrade to USB-C, which is pretty awesome. We need more people like Ken in this world. Phones can do a lot of things nowadays, but what if I told you it can be used to make a copy of your car keys? Dealerships charge an insane amount of money for car keys, and not to mention, you have to go to them. Car Keys Express makes it so unbelievably easy to get your key replaced with just your smartphone, and they charge up to 75% less than the dealer. They sponsored today's video, but I'm genuinely amazed at how easy they've made this whole process. You just snap a few pictures of your key, fill out a few questions, and that's it. They'll send you a new key with a new easy installer. The easy installer connects to your phone and your car to pair the key. Literally as easy as it gets, and I wish I knew about this sooner. If you still want an expert to pair it for you, well, they have technicians all over the US ready to help. Just schedule an appointment and they'll pair your keys in no time at all. If you need a new car key, there's literally no better or cheaper option than Car Keys Express. Save time and money by clicking the link below, and if you do, you'll get an additional 10% off with my link only. Thanks again to Car Keys Express for sponsoring this video. Now we could take a pry tool and just lightly get under there. We want to pry from here because there is a flex cable on the other side. After prying for a little bit, you should be able to get some leverage, and it's starting to come off. You can see the adhesive is coming off, and there we go. What the hell is that? Why is there a blue film in here? Apple, what are you doing? We can go ahead and unscrew this bracket over here. We'll grab that, and we'll also disconnect the flex cable. 2-in-1. Now we can remove this guy. So this is actually a proximity sensor alongside a microphone. So you definitely don't want to break this. It would not be fun. Now, obviously our goal is to disconnect the battery, but to get there, there's still a few things left to remove. And remove that. So our battery is right over here, and we obviously know that because the plus and minus sign. We'll go ahead and take a spudger and pop that off. Now the AirPod Maxes are not connected to power, so we can proceed. We'll go ahead and disconnect the speaker. It's a little bit tight in here. So the actual speaker itself is obviously very fragile. What we're gonna do is just unscrew it so we can remove it as soon as possible. That is a weird looking screw. We'll remove it, and now we can just remove the speaker. Very cool. So this connects via these two contact points to the actual AirPod Maxes. You don't really need to disconnect anything to remove it. It just comes off. Now we have to remove the Torx screws holding in the battery. We'll go ahead and do that. Before we can fully lift the battery up, there are two more screws we gotta get by. They're right over here on the sides. So if you were doing a battery replacement on this is about where you'd stop. You just gotta remove this. That is the AirPod Max battery. Surprisingly easy to replace. I'm impressed. So the only thing we need to do is with the bottom side, the top side can be left alone. We're going to go ahead and unscrew these 4 screws over here. So far, I'm having a really good time. This isn't hard to repair at all. It's actually very well built, and I'm impressed at how easy the battery was to remove. There was no glue or adhesive holding it down. It just comes off after you unscrew all the screws. We'll disconnect these two flex cables. One is for the actual charging port and the other is just for the bottom microphone. Now we should be able to just move the board out of the way. There we go. We'll just kind of let it hang out over there. Like I said before, over here is the charging port and over here is the microphone. We have a few screws we need to remove and then hopefully we can pop them both out. So now what we have to do is remove this metal lip. Because Ken already did this, I don't really want to do it any other way. We're going to do exactly what he did in the instructions, and he basically used a vice clamp to clamp down the AirPod Maxes and then hammer out the metal lip. Seems a bit excessive, but knowing the strength of glue Apple uses, seems like it's probably a good idea. That's not going well. I got it. A tiny bit of cosmetic damage, but it's a small price to pay to carry around the same charger with me everywhere I go. We'll go ahead and remove this stupid bracket. Apple's glue, man, very strong stuff. We're gonna go ahead and place this board back where it should be. There we go. And what we have to do now is open up the package we got from Ken. So we got to put this little tiny spacer, hopefully it doesn't fly away, on the board so that when we do install the USB-C mod, it has something to lay on instead of laying directly on the board. Before we do that though, we got to apply some adhesive. Now we'll remove the film and we're going to go ahead and place the spacer. We'll put that right over here. So now the left side spacer is all good to go, but we have to install the right side spacer, which is right over here. So Ken actually sells this kit. You can try it if you want to. Hit the link in the description. Try it out for yourself. He has some pretty good instructions on it. Now we're gonna remove the leftover adhesive on the microphone, just like that. We'll slide it into its new 3D printed home. It's pretty cool. Now we gotta take this USB-C mod, fold our flex cable back, place that in, and partially screw in the mod. We'll also connect the microphone. There we go. Now we're gonna take this bracket, looks like a little smiley face. We'll slide this through the flex cable to the other side, push it in a little, screw that in. Now we're almost done. We just have to grab this piece of adhesive over here, attach that over here on the microphone. And now we're gonna place this over the actual USB-C mod. We'll slide the 3D printed bracket in here, apply some downward pressure on the actual charging port. That way the microphone is still in the same spot as it was before, despite not having this metal bracket anymore. Putting everything back together is honestly really easy and really fun. There's no glue and it's just as simple as screwing all the components back in. I actually had to reinstall the clips over here because you aren't supposed to fully unscrew these. That's one mistake that I did make. However, they're very easy to put back on. Now that we have everything installed, there are a few little indents on the actual speaker. So we're gonna take some painter's tape and all we're gonna do is go over them and just pull. That worked surprisingly well. We'll close it up. Now we'll take a USB-C cable and see if this charges. This is the moment of truth. I'm sure it does though. We'll plug this in. And there we go, we have the orange light. So this does charge. We still have to test if the audio works and the Bluetooth, but unfortunately there is one thing that doesn't work. Ken couldn't get this to work without it costing a bunch of money, but it's not that important. We'll tell you about that later. So everything seems to work. Unfortunately though, the actual 3.5mm to USB-C jack won't work with this. It would have costed way too much for Ken to actually get this done. Thankfully, most people just use this with Bluetooth, so it's really not a big deal at all. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell button, and thanks Ken for sending this in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.